And I don't think Rondo's close to what he was. I don't, Doug. But he's a rotational player. He's something to me. And now I'm like, okay, no Avery Bradley. No Rondo. And I'm like, okay, now it's more on Alex Caruso. Like, it feels like a real issue for me, right?
There's no question this is a real issue for the Lakers. Look, on one hand, I think there was always, and you and I discussed this at the start of the season, there was, at least at the very top in terms of the head coach, a lack of belief in Alex Caruso. Did not play the first game of the year. Didn't take off the sweats against the Clippers. But as the season developed, he became their go-to backup point guard and a guy who LeBron was comfortable closing with. On the other hand, when you get to the playoffs, a lot of it's about what have you done previously and whether you want to go with the playoff Rondo or the fact that, people at Staples Center have seen him win a championship before. Granted, with the Boston Celtics, and that was, like a decade ago. But Rondo has the reputation, and not having him does put more on Caruso. Not having Avery Bradley puts more on Caruso. It also gives them one less shot creator. Look, I think that they played Rondo too much. And the truth is, had Darren Collison signed with the team, they likely would have cut Rondo. But again, that's not factoring in that they didn't have Avery Bradley. Avery Bradley was playing the best basketball of his Laker career over the last month. That's why the team was playing better. Alex Caruso continues to develop. So now it changes their rotation, changes who they are. And though Rondo on his own getting hurt doesn't kill the team, I think Rondo combined with Avery Bradley not getting on the plane, this is not as good a Laker lineup as it was previously. Now, there's one last thing. I know I'm being long-winded. Kyle Kuzma was not having a good year.
Right.
And so the one thing we're not factoring in is if Kyle Kuzma used that time, as you pointed out, to figure it out, to get his game together, and he's anywhere near what they thought he could be, now all of a sudden the Lakers could be as good or better. But losing 2 point guards, granted, 2 backup point guards, one starter, 1 backup, and Avery Bradley and a Rondo, that hurts the Lakers heading into the bubble.
It's interesting. There are basketball players who I think are unbelievably gifted. I've been watching this league like you for a long time, but they're not necessarily winning basketball players. They're just gifted. I've been very critical of Westbrook, although I've said I'd pay to watch him play. He may be the best athlete in the league. He's insane. I mean, he's just ridiculously athletic. But the Bleacher Report ranked their top 100 basketball players in the NBA, and they had Westbrook 22. And I thought to myself, I don't know if I'd have him that low, but they are telling you it's a shooter's league. Dude can't shoot. Is it absurdly low, or has the league kind of figured out now, listen, athlete doesn't equal great basketball player or winning basketball player?
Well, there's a couple parts to it. I will tell you, and granted, I'm not in the bubble, the rumors in and out of the bubble about Houston mysteriously not having Luke Mbamute, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook, and no real explanation as to why they're not there yet. Leave a lot of people to wonder, why aren't they there yet? What does Houston know that the rest of us don't? Okay? That's the first thing. In regards to Westbrook, and is he ranked too low? If you go by stats, and you and I do not buy into the triple-double, but if you simply go by stats, he's the greatest player of the 21st century, right? We hadn't had since Oscar Robertson, a guy averaged triple-double. He does it 3 consecutive years. But a lot of that was because pace of play, the ball dominance in terms of his usage rating, and it's different with guards rebounding because you don't have a power forward anymore on the basketball floor. Sometimes you don't have a power forward or a center on the basketball floor anymore, and there's long carrying rebounds. It's not necessarily as great a statistic as traditional rebounding used to be. So I was never in he's a top 5 player or he should win the MVP even when he averaged a triple-double. I think 22 is probably a little bit low, but while he's crazy athletic, you're right, he doesn't shoot the ball well from 3, and he's not nearly the defensive player that his reputation would lead you to believe. Though he could have been a great defensive player, he just doesn't play defense all that much. He's not the same guy with 4 knee surgeries. He's now they're dynamic if he plays because they play without a center. He essentially is their one driver. Yeah. He and James Harden and everybody else spaces and shoots threes. And in a small sample size, it may work some. Do I think he's 22nd? Seems a little low, but I also think it's the world telling you that his inefficiency as a perimeter shooter is being noticed by a lot of people in the NBA.
So I thought it was something. I've watched a lot of legendary coaches get stubborn and rigid. The Woody Hayes, even Popovich feels a little stubborn sometimes, and it never ends well. Belichick has the approval of everything in New England. And it wasn't Cam's Instagram video this weekend. It was the fact that New England created a hype video for Cam, hasn't played a game, is in a quarterback battle, and it felt like to me New England saying, hey, you can have fun here. The world's changing. You can have some fun. We'll promote you a little. That's what it felt like to me. And I will say this. I've seen a lot of legends get rigid, and they go down the tube, right? I kind of felt like Belichick was acknowledging the world's changed. I got to lighten up a tad. Am I wrong on that?
So Belichick was editing IG video over the weekend? Is that what you're
I'm saying that Belichick has his hands on everything. That's why I don't buy all these. I don't know what happened with the video in Cincinnati. Belichick's touching everything.
You think he told them to shoot the Cincinnati sideline?
I think Belichick knew of it. Absolutely.
I don't. Look, do I agree? I don't think Belichick is as rigid as you would be led to believe, right? Like, they let Gronk be Gronk. Tom Brady, as much as he says he's having fun more, they did let him have the TB12. Did I think it was curious that a guy in a quarterback battle suddenly has a hype video when he hasn't taken a snap? We don't know how healthy his arm is? Sure. But I also think that, look, Cam is very Instagram popular. He's like the football version of an IG model. And I tend to think that this is the Patriots, whoever's running their social media department, kind of a tip of the cap to these videos, which are really cool and do get you excited. And frankly, the Patriots have been lame for a long time, and this makes them kind of cool. But do I think that Bill Belichick suddenly bent? He's like, sure, with the IG video. I don't ever think it even crossed his desk or crossed his mind, to be totally honest with you.
All right. By the way, are you in the Dak signs a long deal or Dak goes franchise? Which side are you on?
I am if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I make them play it out. If I'm in Dak Prescott, I sign that thing because we don't know what's going to happen with the salary cap. I mean, the salary cap is likely to go down over the next 2 years, and then it's going to spike back up in the 10% variety. If I'm the Cowboys, I kind of let them play this thing out. Sure, it's going to eat up a bunch of salary cap, but I'm not sure we don't just stay pat, don't change, and just because now NFL teams, I'll tell you, cost certainty is even if you're overpaying slightly, but I think you're overpaying massively for Dak Prescott, no matter what Pat Mahomes' contract will tell you. If it's me, I stand pat if I'm the Cowboys. If I'm Dak, I sign that thing because the salary cap is likely to be deflated over the next couple of years.
Yeah, potentially by a lot. Doug Gottlieb, the Duggar Fox Sports Radio after our show. Doug, we'll talk later this week. Thanks, bud.
Anytime.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.